Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good evening. It's 5:30 here on the East Coast of the US of A. Welcome to the Jiminy Flip. It's supposed to be the chat show, but we're doing another listing show this evening until Travis comes back next week, which we can't wait for. But I have something really cool for everybody. Hey, Rutan. The music sounds, isn't it wonderful music? I like that too. It's traditional Japanese and it's copyright free. And I found it about a month ago and I really enjoy it. Kind of creates like a Zen mood for listening. Winter Crow, not you, what's the magazine? It's not so much the magazine necessarily, Winter Crow, it's the products within. But we're going to have a lot of style questions and things of that nature. But a very, very cool magazine. I think it's the first time we've, in fact, I'm positive it's the first time we've looked into this one. It's a ladies' home journal, but it has about 6 different bolos going for it, which I'll get into in just a moment. I just want to take a second, make sure everybody can hear me first of all, make sure there's no echo, no other issues. I can be seen, my screen isn't freezing, all that good stuff. But I am excited about this one. I forgot I had it. I have, we've discussed this many, many times. I have a lot of magazines and, you know, I get in a habit of listing the Life magazines because that's the one that I have the most of. But I still have a pretty good collection of like this ladies' home journal. I think we have like 50 of these, and they're very old. These would qualify as antique tonight because we're just past the 100-year mark, and we've all agreed that that should be called antique printed instead of vintage. Whew. We have a 70-degree sunny day here in southeastern Pennsylvania after a weekend of the 30s at night, 40s at night, and 50s in the day, and 700-mile-an-hour winds and rain. It's been horrible. So it's good to actually feel like spring finally today. Make sure my other screen is working, and it is. Alrighty. Yeah, well, you're in for a treat tonight, Rutan. Let me just tell you. Hope the 5:30 start time works well for people because of work and things like that, hopefully gives everybody a chance to get home and get situated a little bit if you are doing the 9 to 5 thing. Yeah, hideous is that's a much better description than I gave. It was truly hideous. I had a big Beatles show at a casino called Rivers Casino in Philadelphia on Saturday night. And when they say Rivers Casino, it's literally on the Delaware River. And in fact, the area we parked in was in the river. It was kind of like an inlet that went out into the water, maybe like 50 feet or so. And it looked like the middle of November. It was howling wind, gray, cold, windy, just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's better than 5. Okay, cool. I appreciate that. And it's Monday, which is our usual slot, so I'm not stepping on anybody, hopefully, out there in the resale world with their shows. Oh boy, I am excited about this one. Like I said, I just found it in a pile that I forgot I had. It is Ladies' Home Journal, big old magazine, 16 inches tall, 11 inches wide. Very, very good quality. But it's the month, the year, and the topic in general that I'm excited to share with everybody. You've heard me mention many, many times about World War II ads being very popular out there in the vintage print ad community, the buying community. Well, this one it does it up one. It's a World War I vintage print, antique print ad selection from Christmas time of 1918, which is very interesting because if you look up, any history guys out there or gals out there will know that I think World War I ended in November of 1918. This issue is dated December 1918. So I think what happened was it probably had just ended, but they'd already gone to print. So a lot of the ads are still talking about, you know, our boys and another wartime, Christmas, hey, Barnumania, what's going on? But technically, the war had literally just ended, probably weeks after they printed this magazine. So it's kind of cool because it's the extreme end of World War I. It's Christmas time. We always talk about bolos and kind of joke about that on this channel, but, you know, I've talked about World War II. So now we have a World War I bolo, big time, World War I. We're going to be putting WW1 in the title of a bunch of these ads, especially where they apply. Not everyone says World War I, but a lot of the ads that we are going to go through tonight actually make mention of the war, or wartime, or our boys, all that kind of stuff, which is very cool. Huge bolo number 2 is Christmas. I think Christmas in general, regardless of the product you're selling, Christmas is a bolo. We got Santa Claus going in this, one of the couple of these ads anyway. So we have a year-end issue, we have a World War I issue, we have a really big magazine, and we have Christmas all rolled up into one exciting magazine for tonight. So let me pull up my screen, start sharing with everybody, and we'll get this begun. I've gone ahead and I just updated my title. It says 1918 Antique Print Ad, Ladies Home Journal. So I have my LHJ. It's only the second Ladies Home Journal that I've done any listing in. So that's kind of exciting for me personally. I've updated this section down here on my store to the 1910s because it's the 1918. It's in the decade of the 10s. We'll adjust all of this when we pull up our first issue, but you see down here we have December 1918 edition of Ladies Home Journal magazine. Big 16 by 11, literally like small posters, these things. They're absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of color in this, which is nice, even though it's the teens. And I had said last time, a lot of the very early ads will definitely turn of the century, which is like 15, 18 years before this. Almost every ad is black and white. Tonight we have a whole bunch of really pretty color ads for Christmas time and wartime. So without further ado, let me pull one of these up and you guys can take a look at what I've been yapping about for a few minutes here. So the reason I said I'm very grateful always to have Winter Crow on, but tonight especially because we're probably going to have to deal with some style questions and what's this? We have kind of a potpourri of products tonight. You know, usually we go through like some food ads, some car ads. Shockingly, there is not one automobile ad in this magazine, at least that I pulled from. And it's kind of amazing, rare, and strange. But let's pull this first one up. I just want to give you guys an idea of what we are working with this evening. There we go. I think everybody knows Ralston Purina, the dog chow and dog food maker. Well, looks like Ralston also made human cereal back in 1918. Tremendous point number one. Exactly. It wasn't known at the time as World War I. Nobody knew there would be a two. You're right. It was just the Great War. Water, end all wars, I think, was the other thing that was talked about at the end of it. But here it is. Pretty cool. Looks like a photograph of a young boy and a young girl. The boy's kind of looking like a soldier of the time. The girl looks like a Red Cross nurse or something to that effect. Hey, Puddings, how are you? Any magazines or genres behind? Well, it's funny you should ask. We are working with a ladies' home journal this evening from 1918. And I would definitely say this is a good magazine that has some really good ads. You probably just joined, but when we started off the show, I let everybody know. 1918 Christmas time, December issue. It looks like it's the final issue prior to the actual armistice, which I think was in November. But they probably printed the magazine, obviously, in advance of the actual day, you know, December 1st. So it still talks about wartime Christmas, even though technically the war had just ended by the time people were picking up this magazine in December. Nurse and a Doughboy, right? Pretty cool. So right out of the gate, we're dealing with very cool material. Again, it's almost like, and this is true of the World War II stuff, sometimes the product is secondary. It's really the content around the war itself that'll make it highly desirable for collectors. The size of this one, again, 16 inches tall by 11 inches wide. We've talked about this many times. Another one of those examples where we have the majority of this ad is white, as you see, right? And it kind of, when it goes through the scanner, it kind of makes it a little artificially brightened. So I may go in and just alter this, but I wanted to show you the raw ad, how it came through on the scanner. It's really just an advertisement for Purina cereal. You can see there's a series. It looks like wheat and barley cereal or something. And then it's basically talking about keeping our kids strong. The ironic thing here, if you think about the timing, 1918, what do we have, like a 8-year-old kids, maybe something like that? Probably some future World War II soldiers right there. Yeah, thank you, Rutin. It's really not yellow. I know it looks like this in yellow. I'm going to fix this. I just wanted to show everybody. Remember, we've talked about this before. How sometimes with my scanner, the big flatbed, when you put in an advertisement has a lot of white like that one does, it washes it out a little bit, and it kind of creates almost like a yellowing that doesn't really exist on the actual advertisement itself. So I'm going to fix this really quickly. We'll kind of make it more black and white and true to color. All right, just take one more second, everybody. Just gonna, like I said, let's get rid of a little bit of that like oversaturation of brightness. And all I need to do is I have an effect on here that's called black and white, and it really just takes away that artificial brightness. And it'll look a lot better for everybody. All right, that one's done. Cool. So let's bring this back in. You'll see the difference. This is more how it actually looks. Oh, and it's too big. So hold on one second. It's funny. It's all when you alter the color, like it accepted it initially, as you saw, right? We pulled the ad and went no problem. For some reason, when you put a filter in to change it to black and white, I guess it increases the size slightly. Frustrating. But again, easily fixed. And then we'll have no problem bringing it back in. These are little things that you just kind of have to get used to if you choose to dabble in this field, at least at the level I do and the quality I like to have out there. I've seen other people, and I'm not disparaging anybody, but I've seen other people that just kind of take a picture of a magazine on the floor and it's crooked and all that. I just don't do that. There we go, everybody. That's how it looks in reality. You see that? It got rid of that brightness. I'm also going to use eBay's little proprietary editing software, which is And you see how like the left side, there's a little bit of an edge showing, which I will trim off prior to shipping. There we go. But let's just get rid of that for the picture. See? Looking pretty nice there, wouldn't you agree? And like was mentioned, yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean, Rutan. Absolutely. Or the age toning is what we usually call it. There's like a browning or a yellowing that usually occurs. You're right. But this magazine's in great condition. All the ones I've picked up were in really good condition. I think that's a huge part of being successful is go out there and source good quality. Don't just look for hundreds of magazines, assume they're okay, and then you wind up with like half of them are mildewed or water damage. That's not a good thing. So I try to go through them, do a little due diligence, and make sure they look good. All right, everybody, it looks pretty good, right? You see the difference? It's not all washed out like the original picture was, the original scan was. But we will go ahead, even though I said it's not that important what this is about as far as the advertisement. We still need to add that. It's definitely Ralston cereal. Go in and modify. You can see there's a category right here for cereal advertising. And then I'll go ahead and I will put my store category to food. There we go. The brand is Ralston. The black and white advertisement. It's from the United States. It's an original. It's a print ad. It's from 1918. It has not been modified. Anything, it's been improved. That's always my joke. Alrighty, so we have all of our specifics filled in. We have the titles began anyway with the product, the name of the company and the product type, which is cereal. It leaves us a good amount of 43 characters still to play around with the World War I aspect of this ad. Hey, CJ, welcome. That's okay. I'm glad I started a little later. I think 5:30 works pretty well for the listing things, because I like to have some time in case, sometimes we get, the last show was 4 hours long, everybody. And most of you guys hung out for the whole thing, which was a lot of fun. So I like to kind of build that potential for a long show into the equation and start it a little bit earlier. We've been doing a regular chat show with Travis and I. What do we start at 7? Because we figured that's usually like 7 to 9 or something. But these are a little more loose, a little more fun, and it's a great opportunity to interact with everybody and kind of pick your brains and go back and forth with ideas. Yep, just saw the first ad. Even though it doesn't say Purina, it does have the trademark checks. Yeah, oh, the check marks. Yeah, I know. Interesting. And that's another thing you'll see during the course of these. And I think you've participated in this, right? Like sometimes we'll look up like the history of Ralston, let's say, and you could kind of see in Wikipedia or whatever you search, became part of Purina in 1920 or whatever. And sometimes that actually, when a company is known by, let's say, 2 names or something, I'm trying to think of another example, but I can't right now. Well, like we've talked about Dodge. Dodge Brothers was how they used to call the cars initially, with Dodge Brothers. Then it just became Dodge. But this is an example where like 2 companies wound up merging. I guess there must have been just a Purina maybe potentially initially and a Ralston. and they must have merged at some point. But sometimes that's a selling point when you can get something that's commonly known by two names and find an example of an ad that predates that merger and go, that's just kind of cool. It adds an element of uniqueness to it. Well, let's take a look at this cool picture of, like we said, little boy, little girl, kind of emulating the big guys, like a doughboy. And it looks like a nurse, I think. It looks like you would see like the Red Cross nurses of the time, right? And I'm just taking a look at the writing that's underneath because I know it's kind of small, so I blew it up on my side. And it's funny, it says Ralston, the boxes that are in the middle, which, by the way, are in the shape of a red cross, as everybody can say, right? It says Ralston, a blend of wheat and barley, makes children sturdy. So this is the future of America, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to wind up being the greatest generation, actually, right here, these people, these kids. Probably most likely, you figure he might have been born around 1910. So he would actually be kind of old to be in World War II. He would already be in his 30s. But odds are he might have been involved in the World War II. So anyway, that's really all there is to the product itself. It's just wheat and barley cereal, and it says make children sturdy. You can see, by the way, you notice up top over the little boy's head, it says the Ladies' Home Journal for December 1918. That's kind of cool. There's a lot of people that like that. It will ask me prior to buying something if the date is written anywhere on the advertisement. So here's an example where it is. I don't know if it's true of every page, but the older magazines, you'll often see that. They put the full title and the date on virtually every page. As time goes on, they kind of get away from that. But at this point, it looks like we are dealing with that. I think it makes it more marketable, though. Makes children sturdy. Yeah, exactly. All the carbs, huh? All right, let me go back because I saw you guys. I think Whitaker already came in with some cool keywords. I'm sure Rutan's going to have some cool ones because he said nursing and doughboy. Patriotic war racial nurse, yes. Well, without question, we're going to throw in WWI for World War I. That's automatic. It's going to be true of almost every ad. I don't think everyone makes reference to the war, but a good chunk of them do. So absolutely putting WW1. I have, I don't know, 100 some, probably more than a couple of hundred ads up there that have WW2. I have very few World War I, so this is kind of exciting to do something different like this. I'm hoping that it's equally collectible. And then, you know, I don't need to really get into like makes children sturdy, like the usual stuff I would do with a product. If it wasn't as special as this, and if it wasn't a World War I issue or a Christmas time issue, I might go into more detail about like what it says on the box of the cereal. But in this case, the real selling point is the little boy dressed as a doughboy and the little girl dressed as a nurse. So I think we are going to go with, as Rutan said, doughboy and nurse, maybe children. And doesn't need to read like a sentence, even though that seems to be the temptation for me too. Child, nurse. Yeah, Rutan just said child. I put children, but kind of the same idea, right? But I think it's imperative that we get doughboy and nurse. Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. The last mask event, right? My grandmother was, one of my grandmothers just died. Well, not just anymore, unfortunately. 2014, she died, and she was just short of 100. And she remembered very well. I remember her telling me about that many times, long, but, you know, we had no idea that this would hit. And she used to tell me about how she had to wear a mask when she was little, and we thought it was so crazy. And here we are, 100 years later. Breakfast cereal. Well, I have cereal on there. I could put breakfast just to kind of fill out the rest of the characters. Let's see. Actually, perfect. Is there anything else anybody sees that, I mean, the fact, like I said, that the cereal boxes are in the shape of a cross, like Red Cross, was huge during World War I. I don't know if we want to make mention of that. Kind of take the emphasis away from the cereal because it's almost irrelevant. Or if we do what Winter Crow said and look at that, we filled the whole thing out. All 40 characters are complete. Nothing other than Red Cross. Nothing other than Red Cross. You're implying that we should put Red Cross in there, you think? Because I kind of do. I want to have Ralston cereal in there, though. And is Red Cross 2 words? I think it is. Because look at that. That's kind of perfect, too. Wow, that's amazing. What a crow. Very cool. Amazing. It's the only thing you can see. Yeah. Oh, you mean I got what you mean, because I was saying, is there anything else that grabs you? Yeah, I think the Red Cross element should be in there. That's pretty good, right? We pretty much have, we put in Ralston, we have Antique, we have WW1, we have Doughboy and Nurse, which are huge keywords, Children, and Red Cross. I think that kind of hits all the marks we need to hit. Yeah, but the cereal run across, you see how it's like in the form of a cross in the middle, right here? So I think we kind of want to get that in. And let me just give one more look at the blown up version of the ad and see if there is any mention of it in the ad, because I didn't even look at that. Excuse me, still clearing my throat a little bit, especially after a very long. We played for almost 4 hours on Saturday night. Ugh. Yeah, it doesn't actually say anything. It doesn't use the word Red Cross or anything. It does say follow the directions of U.S. Food Administration to the letter, though, when consuming this product. The gluten and phosphates of this wheat make firm flesh and strong bones. Ralston is also a mild laxative, which helps the digestive organs to act normally. What a crow. Yeah, I think it's, so to speak, I think we should let it rip. This gives you an idea of what we're dealing with tonight. We got some cool stuff. Let it rip. However, the last piece we want to address is pricing. Due to the nature of this magazine as a whole, the uniqueness of it at the extreme tail end of World War I, the war to end all wars, the Great War. There was something about Wilson, too, I think they made fun of. Wilson's Folly or something. We're going to put this up to $19.99. Let's put a little bit of a premium on it. Nothing nuts, but just sort of acknowledging the fact it's a special. And we will let eBay do its thing. It's funny. It's only when you're on live with people that, eBay has a tendency to do stuff like that and just like grind to a halt. Alrighty. You know what? I'm going to preemptively make a couple of these other ones that I was describing as earlier where that yellowing kind of takes place. I'm going to fix a couple of those before I go in and list them so we don't have to keep going back and forth. So just bear with me a minute. And yeah, it's the barley. Absolutely. But what do you guys think? This is a really cool magazine and a really cool, issue. It's just one of the amazing things you find when you do this. When you're out there sourcing and you're looking for stuff. We just grabbed a whole bunch. This was at an estate sale. I remember my wife went up to a table in the front. And they had a whole bunch of ephemera and magazines and photos, kind of all literally in a pile. And as we usually do, she just went up and said, "How much for all of it?" And we swooped in because it was just sitting there and they think it's worthless. It's just incredible how little people understand about value. They're so hopped up on like maybe the jewelry or the pottery, which probably does have value, obviously, in estate sales, but this stuff often goes completely unlooked at, overlooked. And we are the beneficiaries, ladies and gentlemen. So may that trend continue. I don't know if I'm doing a bad thing bringing this to light. No, I'm only kidding. It's a lot of fun. It's a great original kind of thing to get into, too. It's something unique. And kind of make it your own. I'll do like one more, and then we'll get back to some cool listings. So I'm anxious to show everybody these ads. They're very, very nice. All right. Okay. What did we do? We did cereal, right? So I'm going to erase off all this. I'm going to keep WW1 in there because I have a feeling we're going to be using that again. Get rid of Ralston and get rid of the scan. We'll bring in another one. going to bring in another doozy here. This is... Hey, Christine, how are you? Welcome aboard. Just to bring you up to speed really fast, Christine, we are dealing with a very cool magazine. It's a 1918 Ladies' Home Journal from Christmas time, right at the extreme end of World War I. So we have a lot of really unique, special things to look at. And this is definitely one of them. We have Campbell's soup, which, again, if you've watched my show enough, you should understand that Campbell's is a bolo. People love Campbell's soup ads. They're a dime a dozen, but for some reason, they're very collectible, and they always sell at a premium in my store. Hi again, Christine. But now we have, not only do we have a Campbell's, which is good enough for most people, we have Campbell's, and we have one of the Campbell's kids up there in the top left. But what is the Campbell's kid dressed as, ladies and gentlemen? Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a big old bolo. That's right, Rootin'. Campbell's kids, usually just a little smiling kid. This time he's dressed up as Santa. I want to see if there's any reference to World War I in the verbiage of this ad. Because to be honest, if it doesn't say anything specifically, I'm not just going to put WW1 for the sake. I might. It really depends on, this is one of those situations, you know, there's no real rules. You kind of make them up as you go along, and it's your own preference. But I try to abide by the same sort of parameters if I can for myself. And being that it's such a special magazine at such a special time, even though it doesn't say World War I anywhere, I don't think. Of course, it will never say World War I. It doesn't say anything about the war or fighting the war or the boys overseas, which a lot of them do. I might not put that in this specific ad because it has enough going for it because it's Christmas time and it's the Campbell's kids and he's dressed as Santa. So let me just see if there's any, like even the drawing above, it looks like, I thought at first it looked like there might have been a soldier up there, but it's not. It's like some people in a field harvesting tomatoes, that's all. It just says every American home this Christmas season must put on its cheeriest face, which kind of implies that it's wartime, I would think. Hey, Lake Erie, what's going on, man? Anyone else annoyed with the new eBay update that only shows 30 days worth of views? Why don't you bring us up to speed? I'm not really familiar with what that is yet. Apparently so is Winter Crow. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point, Root, and you could just put World War I era. But I just read, I don't know if you caught the very end, I was reading where it says cheer up, says Santa at the top. Every American home this Christmas season must put on its cheeriest face. That kind of implies it's wartime. So we are most definitely going to, we're going to keep the WW1 in there. Build this guy up. We're going to put Campbell's tomato soup. I'm going to get it in the soup category on eBay right here. Can you give us a little more detail, Lake Erie? You mean when you're searching, like, what do you mean exactly? 30 days worth of what? Like if you're looking for comps? Just filling out this, everybody. The dreaded specifics. Kind of the same deal most of the time. If anybody, as always, please stop me. If anybody has any questions, just let me know. Okay. There we go. Campbell's right out of the gate. Like I said, I'm going to put that up to $24.99. Let me see what like Harry is saying. Today I was very busy at work checking my eBay store, and I got a note saying they are doing 30 days of views on your items for sale. Oh, I see. So when you look at your view count, it's only views within the last 30 days instead of like the whole history of views. Is that what you mean? I don't put too much into views. I think that number can be skewed in a lot of ways. And exactly, Winter Crow. Yeah, that's what I opened the show with. That was one of the things I thought was really cool about this magazine. It's dated, it's a December issue. I'm sure they did it in November, maybe even late October, and the war hadn't officially ended yet. But by the time it hit the newsstands, it had just ended. You can click on the views and you can choose 7 days. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. That is cool. I think that's cool. That's annoying. Is it annoying because you have to go in and do another click? Actually, let's check that out, everybody. I wonder if it rolled out for everybody or if it's coming out in waves. Like, and where do you see it? Like right in your regular views column? Mine just says views. It doesn't like have any drop down or anything to change a time frame. Great point, Winnicrow. You would think they would do that for watches as well. I know, yeah, exactly. It's like a false sense of success, right? You're thinking, this is a hot item. Everybody's looking at it. I like seeing watches on there, but even that, I've heard a million people say that sometimes the people that are watching are just doing it for no reason than just to kind of keep an eye on something, but they really have no intent of buying. Sometimes they're competitors that are looking to see if your item sells or not. Who the heck knows? Yeah. Oh, it's an iPhone. Yeah, I don't use the app either. I just use my computer. The watches are still there, so now I have items with no views but watch because you have to go in and adjust the time frame, right? Yeah, that does seem kind of silly. Wonder what the rationale was there. I'm sure Don the Auction Professor will have a video coming shortly about that, so be on the lookout. If I was a betting man, I would say he would be all over something like that. Whenever there's a change, he's a great guy to go to get the true story. Okay, let me get back to this Campbell's soup ad. What are we filling this for? We just put Campbell's tomato soup, antique. All right, well, we have Christmas, Santa, 2 automatic polo words. Cheer up. Again, it just speaks of a wartime, malaise that people are in. It's another, they think at this time it's going to be another wartime Christmas, but as we've discussed a few times, it just ended in November. Happy days are here again. No more war. Yay. Let's go build the United Nations. Or League of Nations, right? It was called then. Just goes to show you, people are people. Doesn't matter what time it is. It's always the same. Yeah, I don't have a difference either. Maybe it's something that's rolling out, Lake Erie. Maybe you're lucky enough to be one of the first ones. Grace Dayton was the kids' house. Oh, that's good stuff. Nicely done, Rutan. Christmas Santa. Santa Claus. Yep, harvest, right, exactly, tomatoes. We had a couple ads last time, didn't we? Want to crow with harvesting scenes for something? I don't know if it was tomatoes or veggies or coffee beans, but that seems to be a theme that runs through several of these ads. Yeah, as fresh as a can be. That's a good ad, everybody. Take a look again. Yeah, the Heinz ads, exactly. Definitely a very good advertisement right there. That will sell well. It's also huge. It's 16 inches tall, which is really big. It's full page. Remember how I was telling you guys how a lot of the very early, when I say very early, I mean, at least in my realm, like the earliest magazines I have are 1890s. And from 1890s until maybe right around this time, maybe like the mid-teens or so, the majority of it, way more than the majority, 90% of the advertisements are black and white. There's a very precious few that might have it's mostly black and white and just a little splash of green or something on certain certain areas. And the majority of the ads prior to I would say 1912, 1915 era are very small. They're usually quarter-page ads, half-page ads, really tiny, like we've seen in the 1905, 1906 era where they were a square inch. But by now you can see you got full-page ads. Probably cost Campbell's a pretty penny back then. to do this kind of an advertisement. I made a lot of money for Ladies Home Journal. And now we're the beneficiaries 100 years later. And yeah, great graphic. I agree. And just so much going for it. You have a World War I, bam. Campbell's, bam. Santa Claus, and Christmas. I would say this is a home run of an advertisement. I just wanted to bring everybody up to speed with the kind of stuff that I look for. And there's no real way when you buy big lots of magazines. I've said this before too. I don't expect anybody to sit there for hours and go through. If you're buying like 300-400 magazines, I don't think everybody's going to thumb through 300 or 400 magazines. You want to do kind of a high-level overview. Make sure that there's no blatant, damage done to the paper. You don't want to see rips and shreds and splotches of anything, staining. But as long as you've kind of done that, it's a lot of fun to get the stuff home and then find little treasures like this mixed in. And it's going to happen just because you're buying in volume. And when you buy in volume, you're going to have a lot of good stuff like this. It'll just pop up and kind of catch you by surprise, like it did with me today. I didn't even realize I had that. Can I do a close-up on the soup can? Sure. I can. I'll open it in a new tab. I'm going to pull it up for special request from Winter Crow. Because she could have been doing other things today, and she chose to take the time to be with us, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate that very much. Pull that up. All right, here's a blow up of that ad. And there's the Campbell soup can. Do you see it? What's kind of interesting, maybe this is what Winter Crow was looking for. At the bottom, under the word soup, it says Joseph Campbell Company, Camden, New Jersey. I don't know if that's on all the Campbell soup cans. Six tomatoes in every can. They're pretty cool. Can you guys see it? Oh, how about if I pull it up? I'm so sorry. I'm sitting here yapping. I have to pull the screen up. I'm sorry, everybody. There we go. Can you see it? Oh, now you can, Winter Crow. Now you can. What are you looking for? It has the medallion, but what are the banners? You mean on the side, like those? They almost look like, again, almost like columns, kind of like Roman columns, sort of a thing. If that's what you're talking about, on either side of the word soup. Let me know, Winter Crow. And honestly, if you'd like, what I could do is neat looking art on the can. The banners are torches. Yeah, exactly. It looks like torches or something. Yeah. Cool. Okay, let me pull up my regular screen again so we can list. There we go. All right, another one we're going to let rip here. That's what you were asking about. Okay, cool. I'm glad we looked at it. We have 9 characters. Anybody else think of a little word that we could throw in at the end? Maybe harvest? Rutan was giving us the artist name. I'm not sure if that's something we can put in. I could put that, though, once again. I could put the artist name in a custom specific. Grace Drayton. Right? Rutan, you're saying is the guy's name? Go in here and put it was Graton. That is a custom specific. It doesn't take up any space in the title itself. Yeah, original illustrator out of the Philadelphia area. She created Campbell's Soup Kids, one of the first most successful American female cartoonists. Good call. She gets the nod. What does the title say so far? It says 1918 Campbell's Tomato Soup, Antique Print Ad, World War I, Christmas, Santa Claus. You know what? I'm going to get rid of Claus, and I'm going to put Grace. Should I do that, though? I just put a specific in. What else can we put in? What do you got, Rutan? Give me a word here. Drayton, just put Drayton, huh? Drayton, yeah. That's what I got in there. Campbell's Kid. I don't want to put Campbell's twice, though. That's the only thing. I could put Santa Claus Kid. Or on the front end, I could put Campbell's Kids, and then put tomato soup. Get rid of claws, she says, and put in what? I put Campbell's. I changed it to 1918 Campbell's Kids, tomato soup, antique, print ad, blah, 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 blah. Christmas Santa Claus. What did it say about cheer? Oh, how about cheer up? Look at that. Takes us right to 0. I like cheer up because that's what it says in the... Cheer up, says Santa Claus. That's what I'm going with. I like that. So it finally reads 1918 Campbell's Kids, tomato soup, antique print ad, World War I, Christmas Santa, cheer up. All right? We're going to let this one rip because we got a lot tonight. I'd really like to show everybody. Out the door, $25, ladies and gentlemen. All righty. 2 down. Right, we'll get rid of all the Campbell's stuff for the next, and bring up the next photo, next scan. That was a good one, though, for sure. The heck is it? All right. Those of you who watch know the drill. I like to try to keep like in, same categories like we're in food right now. So let's try to stick with food, slash you could do a coffee ad if needed, but consumable products. We'll try to do those in a row because there's a bunch of them actually tonight, which is cool. This one I like a lot. So let's pull this one up. This is a product that seems to sell very well, despite like every decade. It doesn't seem to matter when it's from. They always sell well. And that product is a horrendous food in my book, personally, but a highly desirable product, and that would be Jello Gelatin. Look at this picture, everybody. How cool is that? How nice does that look? Jello, Jack's sugarless birthday. We'll have to read into this, but how adorable. Girl with the dress. Jack in his little, I guess that's his birthday suit. Ha ha ha. Literally his birthday suit. What he's wearing for his birthday party. And the basic gist of the advertisement itself is Dorothy commands, don't look. Guess what's on the table, Jack? 6 candles and what else? I don't know, but I suspect it's Jello. Of course, he's right. There's a little dish of Jello for each of the youngsters who will be there to enjoy it. So he's having a little birthday party. It says this is for desserts that do not require sugar, cream, or fats of any kind, and for salads, such as desserts and salads, are shown on this page. Follow the recipes in the latest Jello book, a copy of which can be purchased by sending 25 cents to, and they give you an address. Buster Brown suit. That is a nice, very descriptive, cool set of keywords there. Love it. Love it, Rutan. You like this one too, Winnicrow? Cool. I like it. Nice looking ad. Jack's 6th birthday. Fat-free, sugar-free desserts abound. Anything? Anybody know what is that girl's dress? Anything? Like, is it a style or anything? I know the big bow in her hair is very of the time too. Buster Brown suit. Cool. All right, so let's at least get this one started. We'll do Jello. And that's how they put it. It's JELL -O or -O. Jello. Now here again, there's zero reference to World War I, so I don't think I'm going to put that in this one. But I might do like a custom specific, and as Rutan suggested earlier, do World War I era or something of that to that effect. Print ad, birthday party or birthday party. I don't know, Rutan. That's a great question, but I always try to keep it the way. In fact, that's a good. If anybody wants to do a little search on eBay, see if it comes up. Like if you type JELL-O, I wonder if it brings in regular Jello, JELLO. But I try to keep it true to how it's written on the advertisement. Buster Brown suits. Girl, brother and sister. Maybe I'll put. Results for Jello. They're probably all mine. See if they're my ads. You added an O. Okay. Go into the eBay here. There's 2,000 results for JELLO. And there's a bunch that have, there's some that have that JELL-O. Quite a few, actually. This is, I'm searching. We'll go with just a regular Jello. It's funny, you see how it gives you like a spell check. That's actually what I was hoping for, Rutan. Yeah. That's cool. All right, so we have the Buster Brown suit. We have brother and sister birthday party. Sugarless. No, it's not going to fit. Anything else anybody can think of that's really short? CJ, I just saw the first thing you wrote, and I'm with you 1,000,000%. Yep. Exactly. That's what it's made from. That's what Jello is. That's what gelatin is. Collagen, right? It's like the, well, I forgot, my mom told me, picture like having a chicken breast that has skin on it. And when you pull the skin off slowly, there's like that little adhesive almost. That's Jello, everybody. That's the essence of what Jello is. That sticky, disgusting, adhesive stuff. And they just mix it with a bunch of sugar and put coloring in it. So it is far from food. I agree with you, CJ. Horses for courses, though. No, that's glue. Awful. Repulsive product. However, it looks cute in a 1918 ad, doesn't it? All right, so that's another good one. I'm not going to put this all the way up to $24.99, though. We'll go back to $19.99 for pricing. We'll move on to another one. As everybody battles out the putrid nature of this food. Well, Mother had no time to bathe when it grows, so she might have come up with some fables just to, you know, appease you guys. But it really is nasty if you think about what the heck. I mean, I'm sure that could go for a million things, how disgusting certain things we eat are. It's a topic for another day. Talked about already. I think CJ was on board with me in that one too. With what the heck was it called? What's the garbage? The corn syrup that they put in everything. High fructose corn syrup. Yeah, we're not fooling around. We're not fooling around, and we have plenty to work with. So let not your heart be troubled, Winnicrow. We have a lot of ads tonight. A lot of food, like almost ridiculous amount of food. I guess being wartime, nutrition was paramount. Okay. Exactly. Yeah, there are no car ads. That's shocking. I can't think of another example of an advertisement that had no car. A magazine that had no car ads. Unheard of. Maybe another wartime thing. I don't know. It's definitely the opposite of World War II, which I promise. I keep saying it, but I want to show everybody World War One. But I do have some more World War II. I'll show everybody on one of my listing shows so you guys can take a look at what I always talk about. But tons of car ads in that era, like tons and tons. And again, they're not just the car companies are making other products. They're making tanks, and they're assisting in the making of tanks, of the engines that are used in tanks, and the engines that are used in ships, and the engines that are used in jets. Or airplane engines. I guess they weren't jets then. Okay, I'm just fixing a couple of these yellowed looking items while I'm in here, so we don't have to deal with that. All right, what other food ad can we pull up? Let's see. Thank you, Winnicott. Yeah, please, if you guys like this, please hit that thumbs up like button. I'd appreciate that very much. I have a lot of fun tonight. I'm into this. I'm into the topic. I just think it's very, very cool. And it was such a surprise for me. I was looking, I always try to, before a listing show, I try to find something interesting. And I try to make them different every week, like different magazines if I can, and different time periods. And this was like sitting at the top of a pile. I was like, oh, I forgot all about this one. It looks awesome. Okay. All right, that does just about all of them effects now from that yellowing nonsense. Food. Okay. Any bakers out there? This one's for you. Uppity and highfalutin. Yeah. Here, everybody. Royal baking powder. Stepping up for acknowledgement. We have a mocha layer cake and we have a jelly layer cake, both with corresponding recipes at the bottom. And you see, again, the trend continues, everybody. Up top, Ladies Home Journal, December 1918. I think, I don't know if you guys have been looking, but it looks like just about every page has had the timestamp on there, which is kind of cool, the date stamp on there. All right, so this is Royal Baking Powder. That would be the product. And we have a recipe for 2 different kinds of cakes. This is really simple. And no reference whatsoever to the war. So let me just confirm that by pulling this up. Strike that, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see where it says Royal Baking Powder right in the middle kind of the ad? Below that, it says, gives to cakes and other home-baked foods a fresh, delicious flavor and keeping quality that is unsurpassed. And below that, in very small font, it says, our red, white, and blue book of best wartime recipes has been revised to conform with the changed conditions in the use of wheat and sugar. So there must have been rations going on at this time. So guess what? This is a World War I big-time advertisement. So WWI goes back in, and then we can put the recipe piece of it. What is the value of magazines you would sell whole instead of break apart? Interesting you should ask me that. Pudding's postcards. I put a poll out on my YouTube channel, I don't know, what, a week or two ago, I guess. And I got, what was it, 20-something, 25 responses, I believe. Let me see. I threw it out there to everybody to see if you had any interest in picking up some of these magazines that I have not carved up yet for your own dissection. Let me see exactly how many I had. And what was it? 80% of everybody that voted said yes, they would love that. So in very short order, I might do something like that. I might just auction off some of these magazines to you guys. I'll show you in depth. We could even thumb through them. But I have, I don't know, 4 or 5 of these, the exact one that we're showing you tonight, like from that time. Teens and 20s, Ladies Home Journals. I have Collier's. I have tons and tons of Life magazines. I have McCall's. And I might very well go ahead and put that out there. If you guys want to pick one up, I'd be happy to send it out to you. You could do like an auction style thing and just PayPal. But I was debating that because I have so many, and the guys that have been on with me, you know, all seem to be really enjoying this topic and this this niche. So it's a great way, I figure, for a relatively cheap price to go in. And you see what these things sell for, right? You see what the prices we have on them is. So you can make, like, if we sell that Campbell's ad, that's $25. That pays for a whole magazine, more than likely. Anyway, thank you for the question, Puddings. Yeah, I might do something like that. So look out for a upcoming auction style show where we'll go through some of these magazines. Like I said, I'll show everybody some detail. We're not just going to rush through. It's, you know, we can spend as much time as we'd like and go through. And if there's any interest, you guys let me know and I'll put something together. The World War I plug wartime issue. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's go back to this just quickly. Again, it speaks to rationing that must have been taking place at the time. And again, the irony here is that the issue that this is, you know, it's December of 18. Technically, the war just ended. But as they printed all this stuff probably several months prior to the actual release date, they didn't know it was the end of the war coming up. So I think that makes this kind of unique too. The fact, you know, you have a date right on there, and the astute historian is going to see, wait a minute, the war just ended a month before. Why are they talking about the war? And we know why now. You know, things were not like they are today, where you could just like type something today and print it tomorrow. They had to print this stuff probably months in advance, I would gather. You know, all the work that was done with printing presses and, you know, all very physical labor involved in creating these magazines. Okay, Royal Baking Bill. I forgot to fix the specifics here. We're going to go to color add in this case, right? And we're going to change the category because we are no longer dealing with soup. But look at this, guys. We have a baking powder category. So we will put this in the baking powder category. And then see what goodies await us here. So we have multicolor. We have original. United States, not modified. Print ad. Brand is, what is it? Royal Baking Powder. So Royal. Creation is 1918. Theme is, I have a mosquito blowing by here. See, it gets nice out now. I got a mosquito in the house. Baking and, bakery and baking. Keep the pricing the same. All right. We have 2 types of cake. We have a mocha layer and a jelly layer cake, along with recipes. So I think it's going to be as simple as saying mocha layer, cake, jelly, cake. Will I be able to fit recipe? That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read this for Winnie Crow. See if you agree with everything, Winnie Crow. We have 1918 Royal Baking Powder Antique Print Ad World War I Mocha Layer Cake Jelly Cake Recipe. Fills in every single character on the title with not a one to spare. Simple one. Thank you, Rutin. I definitely appreciate when everybody blesses my title choice. Gives it the thumbs up. Looks good. All right, cool. Trucking along here. All right. Next up, I think we still have more food, everybody. Nice and tasty, yeah. Jelly cake. What's involved with jelly cake? Grape jelly? What kind of jelly? As we look at the recipe, I should have done that, but that's all right. We'll move on. Anybody can look at my listing if they'd like and get into detail about the recipe. Maybe make that cake for yourself, Winnie Crow. Okay. Lots of food, lots of food, lots of food. Okay, we'll go with this one. We have a catsup. It's funny how sometimes I pronounce it. Oh, they write it catsup. C-A-T-S-U-P. Excuse me. Wilson's and Co. Catsup. Everybody? Out of Chicago. I'm not familiar with this brand. Is anybody familiar with this? It might be a regional thing. It might be long gone at this point, 100 years later. I'm not sure. I haven't seen or heard of Wilson ketchup. If anybody has, let me know. I'd be interested to know if they still exist. I will read quickly the detail on the ad again to see if there's any reference of the war. Hello, Mrs. Flippet. Flippet on the prowl. Wartime Recipes. Wow. See, this is why you got to look at everyone. Do you guys see where it says Wilson & Co. right down here at the bottom? Under that, it says Chicago, and then very, very smallly written, it says Wartime Recipes. Write us a postal request for our book telling you how to economize using meats. So again, we are dealing with ration and wartime. It's a terrible event that happened, but for the benefit, for us now, it's definitely something you want to push in the advertising and listing. Hey, Allie, how are you? Welcome. Catsup reminds me of Simpsons bit. I don't know if you're a fan, but it's hilarious. I do not know, but why don't you tell everybody, Allie? Never watched an episode. I'm not a TV guy at all. I haven't watched television in I can't even tell you how long. Other than like a ball game or I used to love David Letterman when he came out on NBC. I used to watch that, but not much since like regular TV was. Good, glad to hear it. And Allie, just to bring up to speed, maybe you were listening and just didn't say anything. We're working with a 1918 issue of Ladies' Home Journal. It's a huge 16-inch by 11-inch wide magazine. It's from December of 1918, which is a month after World War I ended. However, in fact, everything in this magazine, even though it's dated December, it must have been printed probably a couple of months prior to that. They didn't know the war would end, so there's still a whole bunch of advertising about another wartime Christmas, rationing, all of that stuff, which, again, creates interest and value in these ads. So it's a very cool magazine. Not that they all aren't cool, but tonight's is especially cool. So I hope you're enjoying, Allie, and bring us up to speed on the Simpsons joke that I don't get. I would appreciate that. It's probably funny. All right, nobody's heard of Wilson's ketchup, right? Oh, here we go. Allie comes through with repeating catsup ketchup. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen and again, it might be regional. I think we were in Alabama or Mississippi, something like that. And I remember sitting in a restaurant, and their ketchup bottle said catsup. So it might just be a regional thing. When a crow with the knowledge, here we go. Back to 1700, that had plum catsup. I bet you they did. I wonder if ketchup is like a play on the word catsup. Like, did they change it because people were pronouncing it strangely? I don't know the history of ketchup. Yes, we did. That's right. When a crow, we had Wilson's. Yep, I remember that. I don't think so. You wouldn't want the makers of your shaving cream to also be involved with catsup production, would you? All right. I think we've had enough fun at Mr. Wilson's expense here. So let's get this in here. Wilson's. I'm going to put catsup. Change the category, and you'll see, sure enough, eBay recognizes catsup, and we have a pickles and condiments selection collectibles category, which is where I would always put any ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, relish, pickles, of course, in that category. We do have World War I mention, so we're going to keep that in there. Let's fill out the specifics. Multicolor brand is Wilson's. Advertising is printed. States, 1918. Modified. Theme would be pickles and condiments. Okay. Ooh, I just realized, you see how it says catsup and chili sauce? Interesting. You know, I've said this a couple times. Maybe we should put the word ration in there, because what was the other one that just said about rationing? The cake ad, right? Something about due to new government guidelines surrounding sugar and wheat or something. Maybe we'll use the word rations. There's not a lot of exciting, stuff to talk about with a bottle of ketchup. As far as the title goes, or keywords. And you can see up top, it says a partial list of Wilson's certified brand products sold under our money back guarantee. And they have a whole host of products sort of similar to Heinz 57 and their 57 varieties. This would be Wilson, I guess, trying to compete with that. The Wilson label protects your table is at the bottom. Maybe we'll put chili sauce, because it does say that, right? And maybe I'll put wartime rations. What do we think of that? Rutan, what do you think of wartime rations being thrown in there? Or anybody else? What do you guys think of that? I think it's a cool angle to throw into the title, personally. That's actually the type of ketchup bottle I find when digging bottle dumps. Wartime issue. I put wartime. Is wartime one word, everybody? Maybe it is. I put wartime rations. I think wartime is one word, isn't it? See if I get this spelled. Yeah, it looks like it might be one word. Wartime rations. Tomato. Hey again, Allie. But yeah, Wilson's tomato. One word. Thank you, Rutan. Digging that? I think I like that. Wartime rations. Because look at that. It takes us basically to a full use of all the characters in the title. I got chili in there already, Winnie Crow. I got chili sauce. Let me read it for you, okay? 1918, Wilson's tomato ketchup, antique print ad, World War I, chili sauce, wartime rations. It's in the condiments category. So I don't know that we need to write condiments. And there's only 3 characters left. So I think we're done with this one again. We're flying through these things tonight, huh? Although it's been an hour and 10 minutes already. So really, time just flies when you're having fun. All right, I'm going to let this one go. Unless anybody has any objection. I will listen to all objections, take them into consideration. If there's a glaring mistake, obviously I really appreciate if people point out a mistake I might have made. It's quite possible. Some might even say probable. No. But it is possible, that's for sure. Let me know, everybody. You think it's good to go? I think it is. So we can get to some of these cool, other cool ads. All right, I think we're going to let this one go. Let's list it. All right, chili sauce and catsup is gone. What's delicious? Where do we stand on chili, everybody? Big fans of chili? As long as there's no Jello in it. He says jokingly. Okay, and we still have more food, everybody. We have a lot more food, actually. That is definitely the theme of this magazine tonight, is food ads. Not a bad thing in any way. Popular. All of them are popular. Okay. I thought we were debating the pros and cons of chili potentially, but Winnicrow has no stand. Oh, Root and saying hard to beat on a cold. Okay, so it's strictly a winter product for Rootin' for the relics. I keep saying for though. I'm sorry, Rootin' for relics. I'm pro chili. You know, I'm not a fan of like super hot food in general, but chili doesn't really have to be flaming hot to enjoy it. Spicy hot, I mean. Not strictly, just preferably, right? That's a good call, though. Absolutely. A nice hot bowl of chili. How about a nice crusty piece of bread to dunk in there? Oh, that sounds yummy. All right, let me pull in another product for us to take a look at. Well, this one's kind of, pull it in. Not something you see every day. We all know Sunkissed, right? Well, this is an advertisement for California Sunkissed lemons. How many ads do you see nowadays for lemons? All the way at the bottom right of this advertisement, you'll see that little box that says WSS. Let me pull this up so everybody can read it. I'm going to pull up a larger version of this advertisement so you guys can see. Always on the lookout for any, hint of the war being mentioned. What wound up being World War I. The heck is witching drop? Not sure what that means. Okay, let me pull in the blow up of this thing. There we go, everybody. See down here, WSS? It says, wow, even blown up, I have to put the old man glasses on. It is costing the government millions of dollars a day to keep our men abroad. Baby bonds that pay for 4 per and will help. Oh, so it's an advertisement to buy baby bonds, like war bonds. Isn't that cool? WSS at the bottom. Hey, Swing City Radio, how are you? Just saw your name pop up. Let me get the screen back up. A lot of back and forth, everybody. There it is. I was scrolling through listings the other night. Noticed some people laminate their ads and others don't. Is there a preference, and what's yours? I don't. I guess it's a personal preference. If somebody prefers to do that, if they think that will give them a premium on their advertisement, then that's their prerogative. I like to leave it up to the buyer to decide how they want to treat the ad that they purchase. A lot of the buyers that I have, they wind up framing these ads. This is I don't know how long you've been listening, Swing City Radio, but these are, it's a 1918 issue of Lamination is Forever, I Would Never. That's right. It's an issue of Ladies' Home Journal from 1918, right at the end of World War I. It's 16 inches tall by 11 inches wide. It's like a small poster, basically, when you put it in a frame. So I like to leave that up to the buyer's discretion. If they want to laminate it, go ahead. But I don't want to, like, presume that they want it laminated. I hope that helps. I have seen people even frame them sometimes in advance, but I like to let the buyer do what they will with the advertisement. I just sell the advertisement itself. I'm glad to hear you doing good, and welcome. That's a very cool little icon you have there, too. Swing City Radio. I love it. Okay, let's get back to this exciting lemon ad, everybody. What we like is the fact that it has a World War I reference. It's Sunkissed, which is, of course, a very popular brand. So let's start filling this out. We have Sunkissed lemons. We're going to keep the World War I in there, which is good for us. Change our category. You can see right up here, fruit and raisins. You're welcome, Swing City. Yeah, that's just my opinion. I hope it makes sense. If people sell them as, a laminated ad, then that's fine. And then, but I think Rutan's right. Laminating, what do you say? Lamination's forever. You're kind of forced to have it laminated. And what if you don't want that? What if you want it, I don't know. What if you want to put it, like I said, in a frame or however else you want to use it? I'd rather have it up to the person that buys it to decide what they want to do. Let me fill this out. Multicolor, this one. It's original. Printed. It's Sunkissed. It's not modified. It's from the US of A. Theme is fruit. And it's from 1918. Okay. Well, simple. WSS. Who wants to look up what the heck that means? It's a baby bond advertiser. So I'm going to put, speaking of which, so let's put in baby bond. Not offer. What's the word? Baby bond. It's a word I should use. Baby bond. Buy baby bonds. Like in World War II ads, I usually would put, you'll see a lot of the ads have something similar. It would say buy more war bonds or buy war bonds. I always put that in the title if it's in the ad. But in this case, baby bond. Let me see if I can look up what WSS means. I'll put WSS World War I. Let's see what comes up. War Savings Stamp. There we go. Patriotic program used by the United States Treasury to help fund participation in World War I and World War II. And was principally aimed at school-age children. All right, so it's a war savings stamp. Hi, Christine again. Baby bond war savings stamp is what I'm going to put in there. Thank you, Winnie Crow. Yeah, I just found that myself. And that's great because again, we're dealing with a lemon ad, not a whole bunch to talk about. Although they do have, it's kind of a cool, it looks like tea with lemon up there, right? I think there's probably a recipe down there again, it looks like, potentially. The lemon pie action. But again, we're kind of pushing the World War I element. In this case, this savings stamp, war bonds, baby bonds. Pretty cool. Maybe we'll put lemon pie. Again, I hate to use... Oh, you know what? We have lemons. I'm going to put lemon pie. No, I think that is lemons, actually, Rutan. I think it's just the way the photo looks. It's definitely lemons. It's a 100-year-old piece of paper. 104-year-old piece of 103-year-old piece of paper. Lemon pie action. What do we think of lemon pie, everybody? Every time we bring up a food item, we're going to have to ask the opinion of the crowd about who likes what and who hates what. Hey, Jeff, what's going on? Citrus. Yeah, citrus is a good word to use. But I kind of have everything. Let me read it out loud again. We have no character. Well, we have one character left. So basically, a full title. 1918, Sunkissed Lemons, Antique Print Ad, World War I. Baby bond, war savings stamp is what we found out WSS stands for, and lemon pie, because lemon pie is the recipe that's contained within the ad. So if somebody wants to give it a little Dominus Ominous and a blessing, We'll let this one go. Like I said, we have plenty of ads tonight, which is kind of fun. Oh, you're very welcome, Rutan. I appreciate it. And you guys help me learn so much too. It's a win-win. But I hope it gets you juiced up for the niche in general. That's kind of my goal, you know, to see how much is out there. And you're right. It's history. It's little bits of history and kind of like a time capsule. Each magazine is like a little time capsule of the time. So cool. I love going through it. I was going to say I go through this all day. I do. I do. But I really enjoy it. Thank you for that, Rutan. I appreciate it. All right. I think we're going to let this one rip if it's okay with the masses, because we have so many to get to. And just for you, so everybody knows, I remember I was saying maybe about an hour or so before showtime, I had the magazine picked out and I just quickly ripped out some ads and I wound up with whatever we have tonight, like 20, I think 15 or 20 that I picked out. There's still a ton to go through in that specific magazine. So the next listing show will probably do like a part 2 of this magazine. There's plenty, because not only do we have the full size, but we have all those like quarter size ads and really small ads like you've seen in some of the other episodes from like the turn of the century ads. Same thing applies for this one. We don't want to leave any of those nuggets out. It's amazing how much material you can retrieve from a single magazine. It's mind-blowing. It still blows my mind. I've been doing it for years, and it's amazing. You can get so much out of one little magazine. All right, we're going to let this one go. Bam. I just got a cha-ching. Yay. What did we cha-ching? We just sold a piece of sheet music. I might, if you guys have any interest in looking at sheet music, I have a bunch of sheet music up too. My sheet music is mostly pre-1940. Again, it's kind of similar to the magazines. It's like 1890s to maybe the early 40s. And they're kind of little pieces of art too. I don't know what the end buyer does with them, if they actually enjoy them as sheet music. But I think the same kind of thing goes where you can like just frame the cover and it looks awesome, you know, Al Jolson or whatever on the cover. I just sold a piece of sheet music. Maybe I'll show you guys that in an upcoming video. If anybody has an interest in learning or doing more with sheet music, let me know, and I'd be happy to put something together, or we'll do a live show. I have a ton of sheet music. Auction Professor got me into sheet music, one of his videos a couple years ago. My wife, God bless her, found Facebook Marketplace. A lady a mile away from my house was selling a pile. She advertised it as, I think, 200 pieces. It wound up being almost 400 pieces. So she didn't even count them. And we paid, what, $30 for a ton of sheet music. And it's a beautiful condition, all very, very old. You know, mostly jazz era, like early jazz era, like what is it called? Ragtime sheet music. All that kind of stuff. Very cool. Also like little bits of history. All right, lemons are gone. The one I just sold, Winter Crow? Hold on, I'll tell you. What did I just sell? And they paid too. That's always a nice thing. You have to wait a week. It is called, this one is from 1929. How Can You Say We're Through is the title. Yeah, I'll show you guys. You want to just see for the heck of it? I'll show you the cover. Let me save this first. I'll pull up the sheet music. And you can see they're like little pieces of art too. I think I just said that, but I do not. I'm sorry. I just saw what you said about National Geographic. No, I haven't done anything with National Geographic. I used to, when I was in high school, my dad bought me a subscription. I think everybody's had a subscription to National Geographic at some point in their life. And I collected them and I kept them. And I haven't had a lot of success with the magazine as a whole. If you're asking about advertisements, I have actually never ripped up a National Geographic. I would gather it's probably worth a heck of a lot more if you source out the ads. I don't know how many ads are in National Geographic though. Yeah, exactly. That the artwork, right? Yep. Let me pull this one up. I'll just show you. This isn't really anything elaborate or anything, but it's cool. It's from 1929. Okay. Here's the lunch I saw, guys. You see? Through. How can you say we're through? Music by Joe McCarthy. Music by Jimmy Monaco. And down there's the publisher. And I do the same thing. I scan them with my flatbed scanner. So they come out, the pictures come out cool. On the back, there's advertising for Eddie Cantor, who is, and Ziegfeld is mentioned as well. All elements of the sale process. It sold for $15.99, that guy. Pretty cool, right? So if anybody has any interest in learning more about those or going through some, I'd be happy to show everybody. But let's get back to the fun of today's magazine. I'm going to bring this one up, and I want to hear everybody's opinion. I know about a year ago or so, there was a big to-do about this product. But boy, do they have a lot of ads with this. Bam. You're up for a sheet music night? All right, man, absolutely. We'll put a sheet music night together. I have, I don't know, 100-something listed, I think. Probably have 100 sitting in a box still to be listed. But I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll go through. That wasn't anything spectacular as far as a cover art. Like Winnie Crow was saying, some of them were really, really pretty. They're very ornate. And that was from 1929, which is, I think most of my ads, like I said, are probably like, actually not even 40, maybe like 30s and prior. Got a bunch of Bing Crosby's, which is kind of cool. Bing Crosby is a bolo in the sheet music world, for sure. Irving Berlin seems to write every piece of music. He was around forever. And he had his own publishing, like Irving Berlin Music. So you'll see his name on a ton of sheet music that isn't necessarily an Irving Berlin song, but he had a publishing company. So they would, again, I would always put Irving Berlin in the title. That'll be for the sheet music night. Let me pull this one up. Ba-ba-bum-ba-bum. What is that, everybody? Aunt Jemima pancake flour. I know they took down all the Aunt Jemima stuff because I used to have tons of Aunt Jemima ads up. And I think they took it down. If anybody wants to be proactive and take a look on the eBay and see if there are any surviving Aunt Jemima ads. I won't list it, obviously, if it's going to cause any trouble. But I just wanted to show everybody because they were very, very popular ads, obviously. And I don't even know what the tone of this one is. Like what, again, if it's a World War I thing. Don't list Aunt Jemima. Yeah, that's what I figured. I know. I had a bunch, and I took them all down a year ago or so. I just want to see if this makes any reference to the war. It's about if you are to a little bride with an adoring husband. It's basically saying you can make it for yourself, you can make it for a husband and wife, or you can make it for your family. Yummy pancakes. No reference to World War I. No buy more war bonds or anything. I just wanted to show you, these things pop up all the time, obviously, up until a year ago. And they're popular. Oh, excuse me. But I do think that they being eBay, kind of put the kibosh on all the Aunt Jemima stuff. So we'll blow that one off. We still have a ton of food, guys. I don't know why there's so many food. Do you want to see something other than food? We could deviate from food if we get bored of the food topic. I'll pull this one up. This is pretty cool. And this is going to require multiple lookups. 1918, let's do a little, perspective here on the time we're dealing with. It's an advertisement about movie stars. Obviously, 1918, we're solidly in the silent film era. Talkies don't come out until, what, Al Jolson is 1929. So, like, more than 10 years before the first talkies still. So we're golden age, some might say, of silent movie stars. I'm thinking that's a marketable thing. So let's pull this ad in. I don't really remember what the product was. But I saw the ad and I said, ooh, it's for coconut oil shampoo. But check this out, everybody. And I'm going to blow this one up so you can see it in better detail. Basically, it says how famous movie stars keep their hair beautiful. And it has a whole slew of starlets circa 1918. So I think this is going to require some lookup action. to look at these silent movie stars of the day. So I will again bring in a large screen so we can look at it. Kind of cool, right? Oh, there's 4 active? Okay. It might be just a case of they haven't gotten to everybody yet. So I don't think it's worth risking, getting in trouble with eBay. But here we go, guys. How cool is this? Famous movie stars keep their beautiful hair beautiful. Well, right at the top, I guess she's the biggest star at the time. Let me pull it into the screen. Here it is. We have none other than Norma Talmadge right here. You may use my testimonial to the value of Watkins multiple coconut oil? Oh, emulsified coconut oil shampoo. So do we know who Norma Talmadge is, anybody? Yeah, exactly. That's what I figured. We have Jackie Saunders, Alice Brady, Mae Murray, Ethel Clayton, Blanche Sweet, Mae Allison, Lillian Walker, and Gail Kane. I can't say, I thought they were gonna. Who's the most famous silent movie star that you would think of? Lillian Gish or something. I would think would have been somebody to expect on here, but no Lillian Gish. I don't know Norma either, but she looks like she's the number one, right? Because she's kind of featured at the biggest picture and kind of the headline, and then these other ones are, under her. But let me know if anybody knows any of these gals. I would appreciate it. What they might have been in. I mean, I'm assuming obviously they must have been very big at the time to be in an advertisement that says how famous movie stars keep their hair beautiful. Bit players, huh? They're all wannabes. Well, it's emulsified coconut. And notice the spelling of coconut, everybody. I think that's kind of cool too. They have the A in there, like cocoa. Cocoa nut oil by Watkins. Now I'm thinking that a silent film buff who collects silent film stuff, the buff who collects stuff, would probably be into this ad. I'm thinking that's quite possible. Borderline probable. Alrighty. Take a look again at the consolidated version. Talmadge was an actress and film producer, box office icon. Okay, so there's your key gal that you want to reference, right? We'll probably throw her in the title. Let's get Watkins. Again, I see no reference whatsoever to World War I, so you might axe that for this specific ad. Because we've got enough going on with the silent film. Another thing I think I'm going to do is write silent film. Coconut, C-O-C-O-A. That's shampoo. Whose name to include, says Relics. Indeed, that's the quandary we find ourselves in. Well, Winnicrow did a little research, and it looks like we definitely want to throw... we definitely want to put Miss Talmadge in there. Norma Talmadge. Silent film starlets. I love it. Yep, I was going to definitely put silent film stars or something, but I like that. Silent film starlets. We'll just put Norma... Might be as simple as this, everybody. Just put Norma Talmadge, Talmadge. Oh, a shorter digit. That's not cool. I'll just put Watkins shampoo. Forget the coconut. I'd rather emphasize the starlets, Norma. Anybody else of renowned in there, Winnicrow? Are you doing your nobody else matters? Unless there's a scandal, yeah. I think we're all right now. That's where we have it, right? Take off the... Yeah, I was thinking of doing that, but I think by blowing off coconut, we're good now. Let me read it again for everybody. If you can't see it, it says Watkins Shampoo, Antique Print Ad, Silent Film Stars, Norma Talmadge. Oh, she lasted through the talkies. Yeah, you always hear the story about all the famous movie stars at the time that became like irrelevant once the talkies. They couldn't speak. They all wound up losing their careers. It's kind of sad. Stars. Ooh. I have starlets. How about movies? Silent film movie starlets? I have film, though. We only have 4 characters left. Oh, and by the way, let's change our category. I'm spending so much time on... check this out. Here's our trick. I X out everything. And I just put Watkins Shampoo. And there we go. Bam. Cosmetics and hair care. Let me fix that. We were doing way too much on the ad itself without filling out these all-important particulars down here. So we're going to put... Actually, I might put this in movie star and films. I think I will. And let's just get rid of this nonsense. Original, not modified, United States, cosmetics and hair, 1918. Brand is, what's the brand? Watkins. Print and black and white. Righty. There we go. A lot better. This one, jack the price up. Silent film stars. Gotta go big on that one. And now I'll go back in and paste back in all that stuff that we took out. Okay. Cool, right? Not every day you see silent film ad, like silent film stars in an advertisement. She had her own studio. So Norma was of some renown, huh? How long did Norma live? 1957. Let's see. 1894, 1957. Yeah, she was a major box office draw. And you know what's funny, everybody? According to Wikipedia, it says her career started to peak in the early 20s, which is still several years away. So this is kind of before she was even a big shot. And that's often a good thing. Okay. That's a very cool one. I like that one. Let's list that. I just wanted to get out of the food for a bit and show everybody that one. Make sure we got the silent film stars in there. Everybody else apparently isn't really a star, but that's all right. Just the fact that it's silent film actresses, I think will make that one sell pretty quickly. Shampoo. See what else we got tonight. All right, I'm going to bring in a big gun here. Look at this, everybody. Yeah, do I have my screen up? Yes, I do. We were making reference earlier to the Red Cross. How beautiful is this? Join. Make this a Red Cross Christmas. And this is what I was saying earlier. See how it says America's second wartime Christmas is almost here. Little did they know that it would actually be over by Thanksgiving. I really think that's a cool piece of this entire magazine. The fact that the war is actually over, but they didn't know it was over when they printed it. I think that's kind of cool. So theoretically, all these war ads are null and void by the point that people are reading them. You know, just barely, only a month or so. You have that on a piece of sheet music. Isn't that cool? Look at how she's like reaching out. That's actually a very poignant and beautiful illustration, I think. And then at the bottom it says, all you need is a heart and a dollar. Red Cross Christmas Roll Call, December 16th to 23rd. American Eagle down there. So this is patriotism to the nth degree. Monster. Now, again, theoretically, is this really a print ad? I mean, it's an advertisement for the Red Cross, which puts a little wrinkle in my usual. It's not like a product, So we're just going to put Red Cross, and I want to see what comes up, if anything. Definitely a WWI in this one. Oh, how about I spell red right? Red Cross. Interesting. We don't really have a category, so we're going to use search categories, and I'm going to put Red Cross. You could see, ooh, collectibles, historical memorabilia, fraternal organizations, Red Cross. Fraternal organization? Does anybody consider the Red Cross a fraternal organization? For fun, I'm going to pick that and just see what comes up as far as required specifics. And where am I going to put this ad into on my store? I don't know. I'm not really sure where to put this in my store yet, so I'm going to I'll fix that later. Organization is Red Cross, 1918. It gives us extremely limited amount of specifics. That's a good thing. Modified, no. Signed, no. Exactly, Allie. Fraternity, yep. Means men. I don't think of the Red Cross as a men's organization by any stretch of the imagination. So I think that's an interesting kind of a little, I thought it was a charity organization too. But according to eBay's category, it comes up as, what did it say? Fraternal organization, Red Cross. But I mean, it literally says Red Cross, so I'm kind of thinking I want to be in this category. However, this is my store category is throwing me off because I don't know where the heck to put this. Maybe I'll put collectibles. I have a collectibles other. That's where it'll go. When in doubt, other. It does say society. Okay. But would everybody agree, since there's a category, you can see it right up there, right? Within eBay that says Red Cross. I'm kind of thinking that's why we want this, right? For some reason, I know, yeah, maybe that was mostly doctors, but for some reason you have this vision of the nurse, you know? It's kind of synonymous with the Red Cross, like Uncle Sam, right? With, oh, we got Allie doing her research. I love it. Definition of fraternal, relating to involving brothers, fraternal society, fraternal order, fraternal chapter house. Okay. Thank you for that, Allie. With all that said, I do think we need to stay in this category because it literally is the Red Cross. Jeff with some input. Hold on. Yeah, we're going to definitely put nurse in there. This is a monster ad to me because, again, of everything we've described for the last hour and a half, almost 2 hours now, World War One. This is World War One, like in an ad. You know what I mean? Look at that. That's a legendary image of the nurse calling for blood, a blood drive at Christmas time. It's got everything. So we are putting Christmas without question. Well, yeah, without question. Blood, nurse, blood drive. Are all things that are happening in this one little ad. Red Cross nurses didn't need medical training. That's kind of silly. Nurse volunteer, you think, Jeff? America's second wartime Christmas, which never came to fruition, is almost here. Our thoughts, our interests, our hearts are not in the trivial things now. They're with the boys in France and our war-tried allies. How's that for some a beautiful sense of reality there? I like that. Never mind the trivial nonsense. Our boys are out there. Maybe allies? France? Allies. It fills in the vast majority of my title, unless anybody can think of anything else that I'm missing, maybe. Let me read the very bottom. You guys can see the eagle down there, I guess, right? All you need is a heart and a dollar. Red Cross Christmas roll call, December 16, 23rd. And then the next slide says, contributed through Division of Advertising, United States Government Commission on Public Information. Okay, Winnicrow, no problem. Hope you'll be back. Go walk the doggy. Yeah, I like this one a lot. Gonna list it. Gonna list it high too. 24.9. That's good. Not bad for a sheet of paper, right? Okay, move on to the next one. That one was kind of special. I love coming across this kind of stuff. Amazing. Oh, my nose itches. Apologies. All right, we still have some food ads, everybody. This one's kind of cool. Let me fix one thing before I pull it up. Again, we have that kind of whiteout effect going, which I don't like. Thank you, Winnicrow. Thank you, as always, for being a big part of the show. Okay. We've talked about this on previous shows, but radio, the advent of radio, is still years off at this point. We're talking 1918, right? I think we agreed it was like mid to late 20s is really when radios, became an everyday thing in people's homes, or not every day, but, became more popular in people's homes. And then by the 30s, of course, it was like the medium was radio sets. This is obviously predates radio. And we just have a good old record player, basically. Which we'll pull in right now. I think it's a kind of sharp looking ad. It is for the Columbia Grafanola. Columbia Grafanola. I think I went to school with that kid. I'm going to fix the trim. You see the edge right here is black. For the purposes of the photo, to keep everything nice, I'm going to cut that off with the eBay proprietary tool that we could use for tweaking photos. Just cut off that black part at the side. There we go. This way it fills the whole thing. They're cool. Columbia Grafanola record player. Looks very nice. You can see it's in different rooms. You can see everybody enjoying their Grafanola. And I'm going to read really quick. Again, we want to see if there's any reference to the war. The Columbia Graphophone Company, not gramophone, but graphophone company. There is an artist scribbled at the extreme bottom right. And maybe we'll give a gander at that. And then right below where it says Columbia Graphophone Company, New York, it says buy war saving stamps. As we learned earlier, that WSS insignia stands for War Saving Stamps. So we do have the World War I thing going with this one. So that will remain. Let me put in Columbia and Grafanola. Has anybody ever heard of a Grafanola? Also known as a graphophone. Put that into a graphophone. One. And maybe we'll just put something as simple as like family scenes. Let's see. Here's Rootin'. Introduced in 1907, graphanolas are an internal horn alternative to the same company's external horn. Ah, there you go. So here's yet another innovation, right? Instead of having that big old horn on top that you see all the time in those old record players, this would be an internal horn of some sort. Kind of cool. So this is, again, cutting edge for the time. And I love that kind of stuff. I love seeing the evolution of products that we take for granted, like a radio or a record player. You know, what a big thing this was to have all in one piece. Look at that. It looks like a nice, handsome piece of furniture. Fortunate are the homes of the Columbia Graphanola, for it's a gift of beautiful music that brings a new and different pleasure to every member of the family. For the kiddies, their own songs and games and fairy tales. Ah, that's so sweet. All right, so I think basically we're going to go with, what do you think, guys? Family scenes or family, it's a good word for Gulf Coast. What's going on? I'm so sorry I missed your first show on Saturday. I had a Beatle gig Saturday, but I will check out your next one. I hope it went well. I caught some of the replay. It looked cool. You looked like you knew what you were doing, and that's all that matters. Whether you do or not, you got to look like you know what you're doing, right? But this is really cool. We're in a 1918 magazine, Gulf Coast, and this is World War I, the end of World War I, Christmas time magazine. So we've gone through a bunch of ads already, and they're really interesting. This one is no exception. We have an old gramophone without the horn on it, which was apparently a new innovation at the time. And I'm trying to think of a word that basically says like family scene, or, you could say it's like husband and wife at the top kind of hanging out at a table. You have the whole family at the bottom. Mother, of course, is knitting, as mother does. Little girl sitting in daddy's lap. Little boy kind of hanging out on top of the chair. I'm trying to think of a word. Family sitting room, says Rutan. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm trying to look for like a word that kind of encompasses that whole thing. Family atmosphere, family, not dynamics, that's not right. Family time, family cozying up by the, in the living room, something like that. But how do you say that? What's a word? What's a phrase I could use? Family. Yeah, thank you. It's a really cool magazine. If you want to go back and check out the beginning of the stream, you can see we've listed a bunch of really cool ads already. And there's still a whole bunch left. Family sitting room. Sitting room is good. Or living room. Family sitting room. Let's try that. See how that does as far as filling out characters on the title. I like it. Gets us down to 2. Ooh, did I spell graphanola wrong? I think I did. Grafo. Yep, I did. Graphanola. Okay, cool. Look, now I don't have the spell check thing on graphanola. Paula. Ooh, I like that too, Rutan. Family meeting on why Daddy's leaving. Yeah, I know, really. Daddy might be off to the war, even though the war just ended and they don't realize it. A month prior to this magazine being created was the end of World War I. But at the time of pressing, it was still a full-on war, and all the advertising is geared towards World War. Again, it wasn't called World War I at the time. They never knew there would be a World War II. It was just called the Great War. During the time of the actual war, it was called the Great War. And then people, Woodrow Wilson afterwards declared it the war to end all wars. How'd that work out, Woodrow? People are animals. We're still fighting war and always will. It's what we do. But anyway, let me put this in the right category for my store. And let's get out of the Red Cross. You missed the whole discussion about the Red Cross prior to this one. Okay, let me put this in. This is interesting. They have a phonographs, accessories, Columbia phonographs category. But as you see, this doesn't say anything about advertising. So we're going to go into the third one down. Collectibles, advertising, communication, utilities, phonographs. I do like Parlor, Rutan. It sounds more of the time, doesn't it? And let's put this in the right category. I'll actually put electronics. Oh no, do I have record players? Let me check. Music. Radios. Nope, it's not radios because there is no radio yet. I'm going to put electronics. Okay. Let me fill this out quickly. Original. The brand is Columbia. No, United States. Multicolor ad. Yeah, I like Polar a lot. We're going to fix that. It's a print ad. It's from 1918. Its theme is communication utilities. Sure. So I'm going to put down to 19 again. Yeah, I like Polar a lot. Let me put this back in. So instead of family sitting room, what about family room Paula? How about that? So we get like kind of all three. A parlor, family room, a family room parlor. What do we think? Regardless, I really like it. It's a good one again. Parlor time. Boom, 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 boom. What about family time? Yeah, family parlor time. Everybody has a different thought, but that's cool. Hopefully we'll come to a consensus. But I appreciate that everybody understands what I'm trying to get across, right? That whole, I was saying like a whole paragraph, and I'm trying to consolidate into 2 or 3 words. You know, time with family, hanging out, mom and dad, kids all gathered around the graphanola. How do you summarize that whole concept into a couple of words? Family room parlor, I kind of like. I think that's good, everybody. So we'll let this one rip too. And we'll go on to another one. Create similar. At 7:30, we will do a couple more. So we're 2 hours already. If you guys want to hang out for a little bit more. It looks like there will definitely be a part 2 of this because I have a lot. I have like 15 more. And I haven't even, and again, that only represents maybe half the magazine. There's a lot of good stuff in this one. Should we go to 2 now? Let's go to Santa. When in doubt, go to Santa. Here we have a Waterman's pens, a Waterman's fountain pen with the legendary Kris Kringle right up top. We've discussed this infinitum, and it goes across genres. It goes across niches, however you say it. Santa Claus is a bolo. If you see Santa Claus on anything, you want to say Santa Claus in your ad. Major bolo. So we have, and I'm going to blow this up again. This is, as you see, it's the same length. It's a 16 inches long, but this one's only 5 inches wide, so it's like a half page ad, but they sell just as well as the full pages do. Never want to, ignore these things. They sell great. And again, I'm going to look really quickly and eyeball to see if there's any reference to the war, like we've been doing all night. And it just says, Christmas this year calls for intelligent thought. There should be no promiscuous giving. Meaning, again, we're getting back to the whole idea, which we've done, 4 or 5 times, about rationing for the war effort. So even though it doesn't say anything about the war, we're keeping that WW1 in there because it references rationing and, intelligent thought. But that's a Waterman's pen, which, by the way, is a great, I see those a lot, especially later on, like 30s, 20s, and 30s. There's a lot of these Waterman's pens. They're fancy pens, apparently. And let's get this into the right category. I hate to use this one, this generic one, but I'm going to use it because there is a Waterman's pen category, but theoretically that's supposed to be for the actual pen, not an advertisement. I don't want to get people I thought I've literally had that happen. I think I've mentioned it on another show, but I can't remember what the product was. Yes, I did. It was a typewriter. Same thing, like a 1910 typewriter, right? Royal typewriter advertisement, clearly a piece of paper with a drawing of a typewriter, and I got a nasty message from somebody that says this is misleading. They purchased it. It was like $15. Didn't pay for a day or so, and I just sent like a friendly thing. Hi, thanks for your. I'm always very friendly, which I recommend everybody be when dealing with other people and selling products. I just said basically, hi, thanks so much for your purchase. Let me know when your payment comes through. I'll ship it out. Thanks again, blah, blah, blah. And I got a nasty response that basically said, this is so misleading. I thought I was buying the typewriter. Return my money, something like that. Good riddance, honey. But I just couldn't believe that people thought, again, a drawing of a piece of paper. So because of that, I won't put anything. Like there is a Waterman's pen category, like I just said. If you look, I think it's over here. You see this, everybody? Collectibles, pens and writing instruments, pens, fountain pens, Waterman. Now, this would get a lot more eyes on my ad, but again, I might find that one guy or gal that thinks, wait a minute, I thought I was buying the pen. So to avoid that, we're going to throw it in the dreaded advertising print 1910 to 1919, which is just a huge pool of items of various products. But again, just so I don't get any grief like I did that time with the stupid typewriter ad. So we'll put this in household ads, and we're going to fill in some specifics like the brand is Waterman's. Yeah, it's black and white ad. From 1918, from the United States. Not modified, print ad. And that takes care of specifics. It's pretty simple. Oh yeah, CJ, I know they're very they're highly sought after, Watermans, and there are a lot of. I have several ads. That's what I'm saying, Jeff. That's what I'm saying. But never underestimate the ability of people to be morons. It happens on a daily basis. But yeah, and again, it wasn't like nothing happened. You know what I mean? They didn't there was no negative feedback, none of that nonsense. It's just they didn't even pay for the ad. Like I said, they just put through the purchase. I waited a day or something and sent my little friendly reminder, and I was met with that. This is misleading. Unbelievable. Okay, we have all the specifics filled out, and we have, I am going to change one thing down here, everybody. I just mentioned this is not a 11-inch wide ad. This is only 5-inch. It's a half-page ad. So I do want to modify that, again, in an ongoing effort to avoid grief. I don't want somebody thinking, you said it was 16 by 11. So I want to make sure that the measurement, even though 90% of the time that's going to be my measurement for this magazine, this is a half-page ad, so I will modify that. And then I have to remember the next ad that we list, if it's full size, to go back and change it. There's little gotchas sometimes. You just got to kind of live and learn. I've never been burnt by that. I've never had somebody come back and say, hey, you said it was this size. And I don't want that to happen. So I always make sure I take another second and I go through and make sure everything's filled out. All right, but anyway, we have Waterman's fountain pen. I think I'm going to put that in here, actually, fountain, because that's a distinction. Fountain pen, and then, of course, we're going to do two classics, Christmas and Santa Claus. You want to bring in the people. You want to put Christmas and Santa Claus. The pen they want for Christmas, after all. If anybody has any other suggestions, feel free. We only have a couple of, so we have 8 characters left. So maybe there's one more word we could throw in there. If anybody can think of something, all ears. Oh, look at that. See, I was showing everybody and it wiped out my specifics. Let me fill this in quick. Let me know if anybody can think of another really small word, 7 characters or less, that we could throw in there. If not, then this is fine. New York City. Yeah, because it's made in New York, right? 120 or something Broadway. Not a bad call. 191 Broadway. Sure, let's put it in NYC, my hometown. And thank you, Gulf Coast. I appreciate it. All right, but you get the gist, everybody. 1918, Waterman's Fountain Pen, Antique Print Ad, World War I, Christmas Santa Claus, New York City. Just like I pictured it. Okay? I'm going to list this one. How old of a pen, Jeff? Is that like a pen of this era? Is it a more modern one? I know they're popular. I know they're fancy. I know I don't own one. I know there's a lot. Again, I have a bunch of ads from Waterman's. Later on, they have pretty big, colorful advertisements. It's a Bolo, Gulf Coast. If you see a Waterman's ad. Absolutely. All right, let's see. We'll get at least one more in here tonight. What should we do that's different? Actually, I have another one of those. Same thing, a half page width ad. So maybe I will pull one of those in, and we will. This one is for a company called Armour's Oats. Oatmeal. Again, we got Christmas. Looks like we got an elf up top. Make Christmas cheer last through the year for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Some appetizing, nourishing dish made from Armour's Oats makes the meal a very cheerful affair. And they also have Armour's cornflakes. Okay. It's another very quick and simple one. Got Santa's elves up here. You got Santa's elf, and then it looks like you got the reindeer going to the left of the chimney. So let's build this one up. This should be really simple. Armour's. ARMOURS, oats. Put that in cereal. Let's fill this in. Armour. 1918. US of A, original. And black and white. And it's not modified. So I don't have to change my dimensions like I was just mentioning before, right? We'll keep it at the 16 by 5. In this case, that looks like an elf, doesn't it, everybody? Unless that's supposed to be like I don't know. I think it's an elf. Christmas elf. So for this one, we have a couple of other easy words we'll throw in. Automatic, as you already know. Christmas, of course, being a bolo. Put elf. I'm going to put reindeer. They're on the roof. Chimney. I'd say elf too. Gulf Coast. I agree. I'm thinking elf. Christmas cheer. Maybe I'll put Christmas cheer. That gives us just about all the characters filled again. All right, then we got the chimney in there. Nice and simple. And this one, I'm going to take down to my normal pricing because it's only a half a page. Breaking it. That's funny. That's right. Yep. It's kind of funny. Okay. What's this one? Oop, let me put it back in the right category on my store, which would be food. Food ads. Bam. I'm let that one go. Ready. Let's do one more tonight. Because a little over 2 hours. Save that. All right, guys, we will do one more, and we will go back to a full size. So I'll modify the size at the bottom in my description. Back to 11-inch. All right, Gulf Coast. Another one walking the dog. We lost Winter Crow to a dog walk, and now we got Gulf Coast. Enjoy and good luck. Let me know when your next show is, man, and maybe we will stop by and say hi. And thanks for coming in tonight. All right. Let's finish up with a bang. What do we got? Load this one because it's got some color in it. Hot Point. I think we're all familiar with Hot Point, like ranges and stoves. Well, this is interesting. This is a Hot Point heater, portable heater. Looks like something you'd see today, right? It looks like a fan, but it's a portable heater. Kind of cool. Got the Christmas tree, got the wreath. Again, we're going to give a quick look and see if it makes any reference to wartime or buying bonds or anything of that effect. To meet war conditions, a number of interesting appliances have been discontinued, and during the war, our 3 factories will produce only such appliances that are essential to the well-being of the people and affect war savings. So there you go. Yes, indeed, it makes reference to the war. And I'm also going to fix this photo again like I did the other ones where it's a little bit washed out looking from the scanner. So let me just do a quick edit of that picture so it looks as best it can. For my esteemed buyers, I want it to look nice and true to how it actually looks in person. Not give people the impression that it has that washed out look, because it doesn't. There we go. Make a quick adjustment to that. There we go. Resize it slightly because it's very big. Save it. And I'll pull that photo back in for everybody. You'll see it looks a little truer to form now. Okay. So we definitely have kind of the same, a lot of the same words. We're going to change Hot Point, obviously. It's the brand. I'm going to just say heater. So what it is. Put that in appliances. Excuse me. And I will change my store category to household items. Okay. And we'll update this quickly. We have multicolor, we have Hot Point, we have original. 1918. We have United States. Our theme is appliances. It's not modified. Print it. It's like that. All those nasty pain in the neck specifics have been filled out. Required specifics. Okay. Again, we have World War I. We have Christmas. All right, Christmas tree. Wreath. Have a fireplace? No. But you can see there's other Hot Point products. Like there's a vacuum cleaner up here to the right. There is like a coffee maker, I guess, or something. Some kind of, looks like a waffle iron potentially. So they're sort of advertising, you know, a myriad of products. But there's definitely, you know, you have patriotic written at the top. So that's a good one. Patriotic, war efforts, war rations. I'm going to put again like we did earlier. And that should pretty much take care of this one. Got that priced at my, I'm going to put this back to 19 because it's full page. Alrighty. List. And that will take care of tonight's festivities. Thank you, everybody who joined. Please do give a thumbs up if you like this content. I'd appreciate that. I will be back probably Wednesday night this week. Not for sure. Probably Wednesday for some more listing activities. We'll talk about the auction that I was thinking of doing with those magazines. A bunch of people did say that they would like that. In the on my YouTube channel, I had a little poll up there. I did change the side, Jeff. Thank you for reminding me. You too, Allie. Have a great night. So anyway, look for a post. Probably Wednesday night I'll be on. We'll talk about those magazines a little more. Maybe I'll show some off. We'll probably continue for some more ads from this magazine because it's so cool. And just like I said, hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you know anybody that might be interested in this kind of content, you know any friends, please tell them. Let them know to join. We're pushing 600 subscribers now, so I'm getting there in 3 months. Want to get to that 1,000 mark, obviously, as soon as possible. So close to 600. I really appreciate all of you. Thanks again. I'll see you probably on Wednesday night.